What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the chill spot. It's time for another wash day chronicle. So get your products. If you're like me, get you some tea, sit down, do what you need to do, and let's go ahead and do our hair together. So today I'm using 3 different products. I am trying to get through a lot of the products in my stash because y'all know my stash is extensive, and I am trying to get rid of all of my Shea Moisture so I don't have to worry about promoting them anymore. So today I am using the Coconut and Hibiscus Curl and Style Milk. I have a little bit left. That's going to be my leave-in. Using the Curl Enhancing Smoothie for my cream. And my tried and true, my beloved Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard. This was the first styler that I showed on my channel, so y'all know that this is Bae. I'm almost done with her. I think once I finish this, they have a 16-ounce jar, so I think I'm going to be getting that before I go back to school, so I don't have to worry about buying it for a while. So yeah, I have been on a huge quest to finish up my empties because I'll just let y'all know, like, this season's empties, summer empties, are going to be lit when it comes to hair products. So just forewarning, there will probably be one whole empties video dedicated to the natural hair products that I went through. So I'm sure y'all will enjoy that. If y'all are like me, I love to see natural hair empties because I love to get like mini reviews and figure out what people really like and what they don't, especially when it comes to whether they're going to repurchase or not. Now, y'all, this is how my hair looks with no product. I deep conditioned with the TGIN Honey Miracle Hair Mask, and I added their hair and body serum on top of it for some extra softness and shine, and it did exactly what I wanted it to. Like, y'all, my hair feels so good right now. I'm gonna be filming a favorites video pretty soon, so those are gonna be in there for sure. I'm just gonna do like a current favorites. I don't plan on doing like monthly favorites because I'm just not the type of person that has a new thing to talk about every single month. Y'all know I'm on here for fun and just to provide a little bit of education. I'm not here to promote or do this as a business, so my perspective is a little different from other people who are on YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't run from it turning into a business, but it's just not my focus right now. So I figured today I will come on and talk to you guys about my history and my current situation with endometriosis. Because I'm thinking about, because I'm going back to school and I'm going to be so busy, and my health journey and the things that I thought I was going to have done, they just haven't happened the way I envisioned them happening. So I'm thinking about taking my lifestyle channel and implementing that stuff onto this channel and just doing one big shebang. Because I'm not going to have the time to vlog when I'm at school the way I did when I was home. And honestly, like, because things have taken so long, I haven't really been able to vlog anyway because there's nothing to show. Y'all don't want to see me sitting at home all day. Like, this past week was the first time I had anything of substance to show. So I thought I would go ahead and introduce you guys to that because I've told you guys a few times on this channel that I do suffer with endometriosis, and sometimes that gets in the way of me being able to bring you guys content because it is very debilitating. So I guess where should I start? Well, I have always had a troubled reproductive health history. My period started really, really early. It was like the end of my 3rd grade year when I started my period. And no one was, it was really only me and my friend that were on our periods. We both got them really early. And from then on, it was just hell. My periods were very heavy. They were extremely painful. And the thing was, for me, I always thought that that was normal. Like, I didn't have a baseline because things started so early. And my mom was very vocal and active in all of that stuff. But your parents can't do anything if you don't talk to them about it. And I didn't think that it was anything to worry about. Like, I hated it, but I thought it was normal. So I never really talked to her about it. She didn't know that I had, like, ridiculously, like, scary crime scene periods until I was in my junior year of high school. And that was because I'd had some surgery for something else that was going on, and I couldn't take care of myself very well. So she inadvertently ended up finding that out. And my true journey with endometriosis started my freshman year of college. Like I said, I'd always had problems before, but especially going into college and amping up that stress, I noticed a lot of changes in the way that my body functioned. My periods were so much heavier. It was just all around bad. The pain was terrible. And I started to get to the point where I wasn't just in pain when I was on my period. I was in pain in between. My periods never fell in line with a schedule. They were always random. And sometimes I would have like 2 periods a month, or I wouldn't have a period for 2 months, and then I would just have a period that would last for like 2.5 weeks. And it got to the point where I was exhausted. Literally my schedule would be get up at 7, go to class, come back, eat breakfast, go to sleep. Get up, go to class, come back, go to sleep. Get up, go to class, come back, go to sleep. And this would be all with getting a normal amount of sleep at night. So I was sleeping more than any human being needs to, but my body was going through so much that I didn't have a choice. I would sleep even if I didn't want to. I had times where I would fall asleep sitting up trying to do things. So that was when I really started to notice at the beginning of my freshman year that something was very wrong. And at the time, I was very active with my OBGYN because of issues that I had had in the past. Y'all, my hormonal health and the things that I've been through, like, I could write a book worth of crazy medical things that I've dealt with that were definitely, like, out of the realm of what someone my age typically would go through. This is done, so she's going in the bin. Bye-bye. So, one of the biggest struggles that I had throughout my journey was finding a doctor that was willing to listen to me and take my issue seriously. Now, the doctor that I had, I'd been with her since I was in middle school. And it seemed like once I turned 18, her willingness to help and her urgency in terms of the things that I was dealing with greatly diminished. So I was telling her all the things that I was dealing with, and her number one comment was lose weight and try this birth control. So throughout my freshman year going into sophomore year, I had been through like 3 or 4 different birth controls. And this is one thing, like it seems like a lot of doctors' go-to statement is lose weight. And during that time, I did not gain my freshman 15, I lost it. I lost 20 to 25 pounds during my freshman year. I was probably the healthiest that I'd ever been. I was making the effort to eat better. I only drink water. I worked out 5 times a day. I was at the peak of my health. So when it got to the point where I was like, okay, I've lost all this weight and I've tried all this birth control, and the birth control didn't work, it made me feel worse, which was extremely problematic as well. I got to the point where I said, okay, this woman's not going to listen to me, so it's time for me to leave. So I got my files and found a different gynecological practice. So this was doctor number 2, and she was really nice, but it was still kind of the same thing in that she almost hesitated to diagnose me with endometriosis. Like, she would dance around the idea of me having it, but she would always try to find some other thing that it could be. And it was a struggle for me because it's like it affects everything that you do. It affects your quality of life. So when you're doing all these different diets and taking all this different medication, and you know deep down that that is not what is going on, it's really hard. And sometimes you try to be a team player because you don't want to discount anyone. You don't want to make anyone feel incompetent or like they're not helping you. But at the same time, you have to take care of yourself. Like, you come first. Is this still good? Yeah, it is. You come first. You can't put anyone else before you. So I had gone through like a couple of different diets. I think I went on one more I tried Depo for another time. You guys, I'm sure most of you know about the Depo shot, which the Depo shot can be dangerous in itself. If you don't have to do Depo, I wouldn't suggest it, because Depo, while it's an easy take it and forget it kind of thing, that can genuinely affect the lining of your uterus. So I was in and out of class a lot, dealing with the back and forth doctor's appointments, because my doctor isn't in the area in which I go to school. So that was frustrating too. I had to miss a lot of class and travel a lot to go to the doctor, because that was who I trusted at the time. And typically you want to stick with who you trust. If you know you trust the people at that practice, you need to try to keep going to that practice. So nothing was really changing. You know, I was taking all this medication. It was to the point where now my doctors were giving me hydrocodone to numb the pain, and you can't do anything when you're on medication like that. Hydrocodone turns me into a zombie. So I'm the type of person, I refuse heavy medication. It's just not my thing. And on top of that, on top of the normal symptoms that I was having that all pointed to endometriosis, I had also started getting ovarian cysts during my freshman year. And the pain was to the point where they would have to send me to the hospital. So when you're making frequent hospital visits and doctor's visits, you can't get up and go to class, you can't do anything, it's a problem. So I had reached one point during that time that I was with this doctor that she didn't have any space available. And I think that's because she was getting ready to retire. I just didn't know that at the time. So I ended up with a different doctor, who is the doctor that I have now. He's the one that I've stuck with the longest. And he basically went over my treatment. This was right after a hospital visit, actually, was the first time I saw him, and he had gone over my treatment plan with my doctor, and he just called it. He was like, we need to start treating this like you have endometriosis. We need to stop beating around the bush because it's not helping you. It's hindering you. So he was the first doctor to take me seriously when it came to that. And that really started the journey for me figuring out what was going on. So we tried some different treatments and stuff. And all of that has led me to where I am now. The last semester that I was at school, which was fall 2016, I had an ovarian cyst flare-up that was so terrifying that it left me hyperventilating. I had to go to the hospital. It was one of the scariest that I'd ever had. And I pretty much couldn't do anything the rest of that semester because of the medications, and it seemed like whatever was going on, it just lingered after that point. I knew that I had a lesion on one of my ovaries from what they could see. And I just made the executive decision to take a semester off to try to effectively deal with what was going on. So, in January, my doctor did an exploratory laparoscopy where they go in with a camera and they pinpoint what's going on. So I was officially diagnosed with endometriosis this January. And we have been trying to figure out what to do ever since. And I know that probably sounds crazy, like, okay, you have a diagnosis. Why isn't anyone doing anything? Well, let me be real with y'all. I'm 22, and one of the harsh realities of this is that everyone deems you too young to make your own decisions when you're, like, under the age of 30. It sucks, but it's the reality. So, I currently, after I had the exploratory surgery, what they did was they went in, they took pictures, they diagnosed, they did biopsies, but they also burned off all of the scar tissue that I had. And I guess I should further explain, because I don't think I gave you guys an actual definition of endometriosis. Endometriosis is essentially a condition where the lining of your uterus starts to grow on the outside. So, it pretty much equates to scar tissue. So I have adhesions on my uterus. I currently have an endometrioma on my right ovary. So after they did all that, they took all of those adhesions out and cut out a cyst when they did the exploratory. And it was almost like within the matter of 2 weeks, the adhesions came right back. So, we're kind of of the mind that a big issue that I'm having right now is that right ovary. And I know that it's really causing a problem because I feel it constantly. Like, it's never good when you can when you can pinpoint your organs and pinpoint what they're doing. So my right ovary is throbbing all the time. And I can tell you right now, on a medical grade pain scale of 1 to 10, at this point, I'm conditioned to live and exist at like a 4 or 5. So when things are really, really going crazy, when my pain is heightened, if I'm already at a 4 or 5 on a daily basis, imagine how bad that is when I have a flare-up. I mean, it's one of those things, if you've never experienced it, you just can't relate. You just can't. So, really the issue now is the constant need for surgery. And I genuinely feel like we should just let my right ovary go. Try to save the left one, hold on to it, and keep those irritants out so I can try to maintain a healthy uterus for as long as possible. And yeah, there is the worry about my hormones, because for women, the ovaries are the epicenter for all of that. So there's the concern about menopause, early onset menopause, which, I mean, at this point, I've already experienced menopause. I've been on medications that cut off my reproductive system. So it's essentially like menopause induction. So now we're just at a place where taking out my ovary right now without having done all of these really expensive procedures would raise a huge question of ethics. And that's where I am right now. So I took an entire semester off, missed my opportunity to graduate on time so that I could be here and having someone tell me that I'm not old enough to make my own decisions about my body. So you guys can only imagine how that feels. And the worst part of this is, and for all of my young women that are dealing with this or think maybe something's going on and that you could be in the same situation as me, I'm coming to understand that when it comes to the oaths the doctors take, when you're in the gynecological world, do no harm effectively means maintain her ability to have children, maintain her fertility. So right now, the ethical issue is, well, have you done this, this, and this to prove that she should have it taken out? The issue is that insurance companies and the government don't care about your fertility. They don't. So you have people over here telling you, well, you need to keep that intact because like you're supposed to have that. That's important. But then when you're trying to take the proper steps to do that, to do what they're telling you to do, you don't get help. The original goal was to do cryopreservation and harvest from my left ovary, the healthy one, just on the off chance that they went in for the second surgery and something was wrong with it, so that I'd already have that in place. I wouldn't have to worry. Guys, that's a $12,000 surgery. And the facility that I was in touch with, they were willing to help, but it still would have left us with $6,000 uninsured. No help whatsoever from insurance. I'm not the only sick person in my house. We can't afford to pay $6,000 out of pocket. Like, that's just not a thing. So for me, I'm thinking, okay, well, we're only looking at one ovary. So why not go ahead and do the procedure that we know is going to be insured and keep it going from there? No, can't. So I'm going to be going back to school with, pretty much very little done. I feel worse than I did when I started this journey. So, right now I'm actually on my period. It started yesterday. And it's been rough. I just feel like I've been hit by a bus. And I hate feeling that way all the time. It's really hard, y'all. And honestly, like, part of the reason why I do these videos, why I vlogged, even on the days when I feel like it's not interesting enough to watch, is because I wish that when I started this, I knew that there were other girls my age that were going through it. Because of the nature of this, it's rare that you find women in their early 20s dealing with it. So it's a lot, because you're dealing with chronic pain, which is already difficult. You're dealing with chronic fatigue, which often leads to forgetfulness. You're trying to maintain living life like you're young, and you really can't. But you also have to worry about making decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life. It's not easy. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because we shouldn't have to do it alone. No one should have to feel like they go through this alone. And especially, like, I know for me, it's hard because I have, especially my mom, like, she's super supportive. My dad's as supportive as a man can be. But my mom is really supportive, but it's hard for her because she also doesn't have the closest perspective, because she grew up, well, you know, she went throughout her life with a healthy reproductive system, and she had 2 healthy children. She never had to effectively decide that she was going to decrease her chance of having kids, which for me, that is not my biggest goal in life. And I think that's what frustrates me about all of this, because we still live in a world where people believe that a woman's biggest goal in life is to get married and have children. That's not my biggest goal. Honestly, like, I've wanted to adopt for a really long time. I've considered adopting for years, because we have so many children in the system that don't have the opportunity to have a loving home. And I feel like more of us should consider adopting a child before we even consider bringing another one into this world. Like, can you guys imagine how different the system would be if you had to adopt a kid first? You know, I mean, I wouldn't force that on anybody, because not everyone's cut out for that. But I'm just saying, perspective-wise, it would be completely different. So, I'm not going to be able to finish this off today, but maybe on the next wash day. So, yeah, that's difficult for me, because I have a very different perspective on life. Especially with being an environmentalist. Y'all, this world is already overpopulated. Like, at first, I was really sad that I may not be able to have a kid. But then I was like, it's not the end of the world. And I think that's what makes it so hard for a lot of us ladies, because we're treated as if our ability to have sex, to have babies, to get a man and keep a man, we are still taught, and a lot of us still act as if that is the only thing we have. And I think when it comes to things like this, when you can't function like a normal woman, it often makes a lot of us feel like we're less than. And we have to get rid of those social ideals, because it's not healthy. Like, there is no one right way to act like a woman. You know what I mean? There's no one right way to act like a lady. We're allowed to be independent. We're allowed to be broken. We're allowed to be not all the way put together. Life is messy, and women should be allowed to show that. Like, we go through so much. We experience life and the body in ways that a man can never understand. And that right there is beautiful. you know? So it's hard because I had to effectively learn how to deal with this idea that not having the reproductive capabilities that the majority of women do does not define me. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me any less of a woman. If anything, it just makes me stronger. It just makes me more unique. It makes me special. It makes me appreciate life a little bit more. And I know full well that there are a lot of women that have not been able to come to those conclusions and feel that way about themselves because they don't have anyone to talk to. So, for me, my mission is to kind of be that outlet, be that space for women who need it, because this is so hard, y'all. And I'm going to talk more about my emotional experiences, the things that I've gone through, and the pain that I've felt. But it's hard because, especially when you are surrounded by women who don't understand that the pain you feel with endometriosis far surpasses anything that you will ever feel as a woman with a normal period. And I think the worst thing you can do as a woman is look at another woman that has endometriosis and try to act like what you feel is anything close to what she feels. Don't do pain Olympics. If you have a friend that's going through it, if you just someone, there's a girl in your class and she's never in class because of it, try to be supportive and don't hit her with, well, we all have periods, and y'all, I've heard so much shit from other women, things that would probably sicken you. Like, I'll just be real, the men in my life oftentimes have been more supportive than a lot of the women. I do have an amazing friend group, so of course, that doesn't apply to them, but my doctor, I didn't have a doctor that actually listened to me and my concerns and made it their mission to help me feel better until I got a male doctor. And for so long, I've been avoiding it. I would always ask for female doctors because I thought it was weird to have a male gynecologist. And the best thing I ever could have done was let them put me in that appointment with that male gynecologist because he treated me better. We as women have the worst habit of treating each other like trash. And we can't get over these issues and deal with them if we don't find better ways to treat each other. All I know is that regardless of who the woman is, what I'm going through right now, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, y'all. And we need to learn to build each other up and comfort each other so we can actually effectively get through these things. Because this is hard. I've been depressed the last 6 months. And it's just recently that I'm understanding that I really am experiencing depression and, just going to go find therapists and all that stuff. So, as a woman, please don't try to discredit another woman. Be supportive in whatever way she needs. Those of us who have this, we all deal with things differently. I'm the type of person, sometimes I need someone to just let me talk. I just need someone to let me talk about it. I don't want advice. I just want to talk about it and go. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, you should try drinking this tea or try drinking this medicine and gosh, I don't want to hear it. I just want you to let me vent. You know what I mean? I'm kind of that person. Sometimes I do need advice and I'll ask for it, but for the most part, I'm the type of person where I really just need to get things off my chest. And I have those friends that I know I can go to that will let me do that. Some people you just really don't need to, you're not going to get that from them because they always want to offer, oh, well, I went through this, or, oh, you should do this. Just try not to be that person, because 9 times out of 10, those things that you're going to tell her that she should go do, she's already done them. Especially when it comes to going to the doctor, going to the hospital. Like, for us, a lot of times we wait it out. We wait out trying to go to the hospital because there's nothing they can do. They can give you the medicine to make you feel comfortable and make you stop hurting, but they can't treat you. Treatment involves surgery, and that surgery requires an OBGYN. So there's nothing that they can do for you. So, like, me, the times that I've had to go to the hospital, I went because there was literally nothing I could do. Like, I couldn't move. I could barely breathe. I was hyperventilating. Those are the times when we get up and we go. Other times, yeah, we're struggling and it's hard, but it's just not worth it. You know, that huge cost of going to the hospital just for some morphine. Like, I mean, that's just the reality. You get morphine and fluids, and they tell you that they hope you get better soon. And, you know, that's it. That's all they can do. It doesn't go further than that. So, people who haven't been through certain things really need to understand that sometimes your friends just need you to be there. They don't need you to say anything. Just being there is enough. They don't need you to offer anything. They just need to know that you're there. And honestly, like, this entire situation, especially being back home with my family for a while, it has really shown me who my friends are and who my friends aren't. It has shown me a lot. And I can just tell y'all right now, like, there are some people, they're not going to hear from me again. And it's one of those things where I don't need someone to call me and check on me every single day. But I'm the type of friend where I am always there for everyone else. And I don't expect anything in return, but I do pay very close attention to the people who are there for me. And the people that actually reach out and just say, like, hey, are you okay? I have some people that I've been friends with for years that have never just texted me and said, like, yo, are you okay? You know, I do it for them, or they call me when they need something. They call me when they need support, but they can't reciprocate that. And honestly, it's hard and you don't want to feel like you're selfish, but at the same time, when you're going through something like this, you have to be a little selfish. It's just necessary. There's too much going on in your own life to be hyper focused on someone else's. And that's not being mean. That's just being real. So there are some people that, like, it'll be funny because I know I'll get the text, oh, you're going back to school. I wish we gotten to hang out. No, you don't. And I'm not going to worry about it. I can't. The people that I'm going back to in Raleigh, those are the ones that have my back. Those are the ones that genuinely care about me. Those are the people that check on me. And honestly, like, even some of my friends that I have people that I haven't talked to since middle school that were never really, like, that close to me, but even they have, like, reached out and just asked, like, you okay? You need anything? You need to talk? I'm here. You know, like, I think it's actually kind of sad when you have people that were never really that close to you, but they care more than the people that you call your best friends. So, that just is what it is, and you can't stress over it. And I think the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about right now, and just in the comments below, first, let me know what you use for your wash day today. Let me know what things you're trying to get out of your stash. And secondly, any specific things that you've heard me talk about just in this short synopsis of all the things that I've dealt with my health journey and endometriosis, let me know what you want me to talk about further, because there are a lot of things that I can go in depth about. I have videos on hygiene and cleanliness on my other channel, but I will probably just redo them and put them up on here. So just let me know what specific things you guys want to know about this, so that I can give you guys adequate information and you feel like you're actually getting some help. Because I want this to be your channel. You know, it's not just my channel, it's your channel. All those people that have, my little community of people that have been tuning in and enjoying and watching my videos. So this is for you. But the last thing I want to talk about, and this is just something that I've been dealing with recently and something that I've been coping with. Do not apologize for being a Debbie Downer, for being tired, for not wanting to be social. I've kind of dealt with that in the last month or so. And, you know, people see you in a different kind of mood and they get upset. They feel like you're mad at them or whatever. They act funny around you. Y'all, real talk, I've put up a front when it comes to how I feel for the last 4 years. I can't do it anymore. It takes so much energy. And like I said, like, if you're already functioning at a 5 on a daily basis, you can't even begin to imagine how that feels when you have a flare-up. So I've gotten to the point where, you know, and it's different if I'm being mean. Like, if I'm being mean, I'll apologize. But if I'm not feeling up to par, I don't really want to communicate with people. I don't want to go out and do things. I'm just not feeling social. I don't feel good. I'm not going to sit around and try to save face for anybody. And the thing is, like, that is so tiring as someone who is already dealing with a lot of tiring things. You cannot expect someone who is dealing with a lot of pain to always put on a happy face for you. That's when you have to get up and grow up and understand that the world does not revolve around you. And I have some people in my life that just expect me to act a certain way, even when they know that things aren't okay. And to me, it's like, that's so selfish. It's selfish and it is not productive. And especially when, like, you don't even ask the person if they're okay enough. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really check on them. You never ask if they're okay. So you have the nerve to then look at them and want them to act a certain way. Like, no. And that's just something that I have had to learn over the years. I've taken myself out of situations and I've acted awkward or acted differently because I didn't want to make other people feel bad. And I've reached a point where this has been going on for so long for me. I cannot continue to allow myself to be consumed with how my illness makes other people feel. I just can't do it. And you can't do it either. If you're watching this and you're dealing with this right now, you can't do that. Because that's not self-care. It really isn't. And like I said, like, you don't have to be mean to people. And if you are, I know that, like, it's hard because a lot of this leads to hormonal imbalances. And I get a lot of mood swings. I can go from, like, 0 to 250 and get so angry that I scare myself. So I understand. There is a very big difference between that and not putting on a mask or a facade for other people. Those people that know that you're dealing with this, they either need to put up or get out. If they can't handle you on your worst days, when you're hurt and you're crying and you can't do anything, then they don't need to be around during your best. They really don't. It's just like any other situation. The people that are there during the hard times are the people that you need to keep. I think that just kind of goes for anything. So that's something that I've really been dealing with and coping with, because it is really hard when sometimes you have to deal with people who expect you to put up a front. And I am at a stage in my life where I've done it for so long that I can't anymore. Like, I can't pretend to be okay. I can't keep saying, yes, I'm okay, because I don't want to make people feel bad. If I'm not okay, then I'm just not okay, y'all. And, you know, people just have to deal with that. It just is what it is. I'm to a point where I can't sugarcoat and I can't pretend, so. But yeah, we're all done with wash day. Today was an easy wash day. Shampooing, conditioning, all that stuff went really well. Thank God, because, like, I am so tired, y'all. Like, I'm drinking my, this is my Yogi Women's Moon Cycle tea. This is great if you really struggle with cramps. I like to start drinking it on the day that I know my period is starting. So if I see some spotting that day, I'll go ahead and drink a cup. So I have my heating pad. I have my cherry pit pack. I love this thing. It gets so warm. It's perfect for those of you that have really, really awful cramps, because you can have really bad cramps and not have endometriosis. So, ladies, if you have really, really bad cramps, I think I found a website that you can get these off of. So I'll link it in the description if you need it. I'll also link the Yogi Moon Cycle tea. I've only seen it in Whole Foods. So I don't know how easy it would be for you guys to get, but I will link it. I know that they do have it on Amazon. So these two are like my heavy hitters. Also, stay hydrated, especially like now in this heat. It's really, really important. But just in general, the more water I drink, the more it helps, the easier it is. And I also do incorporate a lot of greens. I eat a lot of spinach, a lot of kale when I'm on my period. I eat a lot anyway, but I kind of mix it into a lot of different things during my period so that it's helping supplement, you know, the iron and all the nutrients that you lose when you have a heavy period, because I have had times when I've been anemic, so that really helps. And also incorporating bananas, those can help with cramps too. So I did a smoothie that has some banana in it this morning, and that has helped as well. So try those things out before you hit the heavy medication. I'll probably need some heavy meds later on today, but right now I'm doing good. So thank you guys for joining me for another wash day chronicle. Like I said, let me know what you use for this wash day, what you're trying to get rid of, those things that you know you're trying to hit a goal with all the product usage, because I know it's hard being a product junkie. So let me know all the products that you've gone through, and also let me know what other things you want to hear about my health journey. I just gave you guys like a glossed over run through, but I can get really specific about the medications that I've taken, the foods that I eat, everything I do to just try to get through it and attempt to be as normal as I can at the age of 22. So let me know all the things that you would like me to talk about and incorporate on this channel. So this won't just be hair and beauty. I will be incorporating lifestyle, and you'll get to see some of my college journey soon as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Wash Day Chronicle. Bye.